People who don't know history are acting shocked at the Vietnamese restaurant owner who kicked out that Israeli family. Like,
Just myself, I'm not accept for your country people here. Free Palestine.
they don't realize what Vietnam went through within living memory, right? The Vietnam War 50 years ago, they were living and fighting in tunnels underground because of mass bombing campaigns. And whether or not they were actually aiding the guerrillas, civilians were being murdered, tortured, and imprisoned on speculation that they were aiding the guerrillas. It's a little bit in common with what's going on in Palestine, let's just say that. And Vietnam won. They don't have to play around. They educated their people and told them what was really going on. And do you know what is so funny about the Vietnamese perspective of the Vietnam War? Is that it is such an obvious, it's such a no-brainer to support the communist side in the Vietnam War that France, before the Vietnam War, when it was a French colony, some of y'all didn't know that, and the United States supported a program that moved millions of Vietnamese people into fortified bunker towns so that nobody could enter and explain what Ho Chi Minh was talking about. All of their plantations were owned by a land-owning elite put in place by the colonial regime or French colonizers themselves. This model led to an insane power imbalance. It's the same thing that happened all over Latin America and everywhere else that used to be a colony. So they were like, obviously, we're gonna get rid of the colonizers and redistribute that stolen property to our brothers and sisters who actually work it. The other weird thing is that Americans all agree that we were the bad guys in the Vietnam War. We had no business there, we only made things worse, and we just committed mass atrocities. It was horrible. We should not have been there. Everyone agrees that. But we can't agree that the Viet Cong were the good guys. We don't have the courage or the intelligence, maybe, to pick up a book and see what was really going on. And we still believe the propaganda. They were saying that if the North took over, they would just kill everybody. You know, violent, tyrannical, communist takeover. Just start killing everybody for fun. That was what the propaganda said would happen. And nothing like that happened. Like, you could just look at history. That's just not what happened. And honestly, like, Vietnam did really well under Communist Party leadership, considering the state that the United States left them in. Tens of thousands of landmines still active all over the countryside, permanently poisoning so much of their land with Agent Orange and other now illegal chemicals that were used in chemical warfare. You know, mass cancer rates, birth defects, horrible stuff that they now have to foot the bill for. It's expensive recovering from a war like that. And all of that under US sanctions that weren't lifted until 1991. And since then, Vietnam is now like one of the highest GDP per capita growth rates in the world. Like, they're doing all right. Go look at some travel vlogs in Vietnam. Go look at the countries. Like, you can go on YouTube. You can just go look at people who've been there or go there yourself and check it out. Anyway, I want to end this video with a quote from a female guerrilla fighter from this old book I picked up recently. So, in the 2 years that she fought with the all-female C3 company, Vo Thi Mo's hatred for the Americans grew. She was once in a tunnel when a direct bomb strike killed a pregnant woman who was within days of delivery, and another who was breastfeeding her child at the time of the strike. Quote, "The first time I killed an American, I felt enthusiasm and more hatred. I thought I would like to kill all of the Americans to see my country peaceful again. Many people in my village were killed by bombs and shells. In one shelter, over 10 of my friends were killed with napalm bombs. You know how napalm burns. When we pulled the bodies out, they had only burned and crooked limbs. These battles kindled my hatred. I did not think of myself. I did not think of the hardship. The Americans considered the Vietnamese animals. They wanted to exterminate us all and destroy everything we had." Whew.